welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Ross Merriam, and today I have a bit of a brew. I know from the looks of this opening hand, it doesn't look like it. It looks like 4C Healy or 4C or 3C Teamer Marvel. 3C, yeah, sure. But in reality, this is a mid-range deck with a whole bunch of Planeswalkers playing a fair game of Magic. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully these O's find us something sweet. This hand looks great, though. Definitely going to keep. I guess I should see what our opponent does. And they've also kept 7. How lucky. Okay, let's start with an Oath. I also wouldn't mind hitting a land off this opening Oath. I like lands. Ooh, Glorybringer. But the land is really tempting. It gives us a red source that doesn't die to removal, potentially, in Aether Hub, and lets us curve Servant into 3-drop plus Oath to set up the following turn. So I think I'm actually going to take the Hub. As much as I want to Glorybringer people, I'm going to play it safe there. And let's see what our opponent is up to. Apparently, they're up to waiting in my beginning of combat step. It's so short these days, they wanted to savor it. What do we got? Basic Plains. Humans? Well, yeah, Town Gossip Monger sure looks like humans. Servant is an okay draw. And let's get one of these onto the battlefield. Don't expect this Gossipmonger to attack, but probably the turn after. Ooh. Strong opening from our human's opponent. There's one of those Planeswalkers. Probably not the best one in this matchup, but I'll take it. The Johnny Unyielding. And if I Oath... I can Oath into Rogue Refiner or Virtuoso. I guess I can Oath first, and if I end up hitting a different land, especially if I have to take like another fast land. Oof, Bristling Hydra is not very good in this matchup, and I do want to get to a Johnny. So if I take a forest, I can play a 3-drop this turn, next turn play Servant plus another 3-drop, then play a Johnny the following turn. So once again, I'm going to take a land off this Oath. Kind of doesn't feel great, but now if the awkward part here is I have to use 2 energy to cast, or I guess use 1 energy to cast Virtuoso, because I play the island, but that still puts me to only making 1 Thopter. I think that's fine. So I just want to block as much as possible. So let's play the Virtuoso first. My opponent kills the Virtuoso. That's the only awkward part, because I'm going to make a bunch more energy next turn. So I miss out on the ability to make Thopters with them. But blocking early against these aggressive decks is definitely important. So... And if my opponent takes their turn to Declaration in Stone, say, the Whirler Virtuoso, then they're only going to attack with Incited Rabble and Thraben Inspector, which is still fine, because I'll make a Thopter response, obviously. So I think I should be in fine shape. Then the Rogue Refiner trades with one of their creatures, and then a Johnny should take over the game from there. The fact that they transformed Incited Rabble makes me think that they're planning on attacking. This could be Always Watching? Okay, another Anthem effect. Okay, well, so let's make our Thopter. And I think this turn I'm just going to double block the Thraben Inspector and take some damage, because I do want to keep the Virtuoso around to make more Thopters. So this will effectively trade Thopter for the Thraben Inspector. I'll take 6, which is a healthy chunk, but I'm at 20. And then set me up to make some better blocks next turn. The Virtuoso will probably trade here. The Thopters will team with Rogue Refiner to trade here, and then hold off anything else. We're going to end up using 1 more energy, but gaining 4. So that awkwardly puts us to 5. So we're only going to make 1 Thopter again. Well, there is yet another Planeswalker. This one's not great. I think we'll make our normal play here. Start with Rogue Refiner, never know what we could draw. That might change our play, like a Harness Lightning. What do we have? What could it be? It could be the suspense is killing me. Another Planeswalker. We'll just develop our board, and these Planeswalkers should take over the game given enough time. So we'll just play as much defense as we can on these turns, and we are in good shape to trade a bunch here. And from there, we will be sitting pretty. Our opponent does have 4 cards as well, though, so they never know what they could be up to. What? Just really want to ping me. It's good to keep in mind if we're trying to protect Planeswalkers, to not let them go to 1 unnecessarily. But very strange. What could make them want Sunscorched Desert? I don't know. I just do not know. Always watching here would be quite annoying. Ooh, Crack Clue is great. I'm a big fan of that. Anytime we get to land these Planeswalkers. Big fan. If our opponent does nothing else with the rest of their turn, could untap Ajani and minus the Ajani on Incited Rabble. We'd be down to 3 energy, so we'd still have 3 blockers for 2 attackers. One of which would even need help to kill the Ajani. Huh. Well, that's a little disappointing. I didn't get to have my fun with all my sweet Planeswalkers. Maybe, man, their hand must have been real bad. That is all I'll say. And now we get to bring in some really great cards. Like all the red ones. Red cards good against aggro decks. Get them in there. I definitely don't want counter spells. I don't think I want the Confiscation Queue. This is more for bigger creatures. I do think I want this Sky Sovereign. And I want to bring out the Planeswalkers that are worst at defending themselves. So this Arlen Cord, even though it's sweet with Glorybringer, this Nahiri doesn't seem necessary. Oh no, Nahiri kills Always Watching. So I'll be fine with 1 Nahiri. Want to keep in all the removal. I don't think the trackers are very good. Although they are better once we bring in much more removal. Still, they're just poor blockers. They're really slow. At least Bristling Eye to protect itself from removal, and it's pretty big. Oh, but still, it's not a great blocker if things are going reasonably well for our opponent. I'm going to try cut Hydra. I don't love Tireless Tracker too much. And then maybe I'll cut the Nissas. The Ajani is sort of our big haymaker at the end, which I like having, although maybe Sky Sovereign fills that role. Nissa is just so awkward to land ever. And by the time we're not gonna play it on turn 3 like we would against other mid-range decks or against control decks. It's never a threat there. And so if it's only going to be a threat late game, we already have that covered with a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, let's try cutting the Nisses. That looks good. And maybe we'll get to cast a Planeswalker this time. This is a keep, but it's not great. We needed this Oath to hit something to bridge us to these cards. Opponent kept 7. But I'm confident Oath can do that. The question is whether we want Oath on turn 1 or Attune. Oathing on turn 1 lets us dig first Servant of the Conduit, which is our best turn 2 play. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It also gives us time to decide what to find with this Attune. Although, I guess it's fun. Drawing Rogue Refiner makes me want to get an island. Ugh. Well, that wasn't a great Oath, but fortunately our draw step found us something to bridge the gap. So, not in too rough a shape. A Magma Spray would be a great draw next turn, so we get Attune plus Spray. And Thraben Inspector is not a very aggressive start from our opponent. It also means that they probably don't have more 1-drops, because they would have led on a different one and played the Inspector later. Okay, well, that is a good one too. Attune. I'm going to find another mountain here in case we draw the Sweltering Suns. It also helps us cast Glorybringer. We don't really need the planes for anything other than Planeswalkers, and we already have Oath, so that covers the white requirement. So let's get a mountain and play it. And hope we don't get too buried on these next few turns. Always watching here would be really strong. Okay, good. Glad not to see that. We'll take 4, but now they could just develop their board with more creatures and then have a removal spell for Refiner. Ugh. Ugh. Thalia was also very good. Okay, well, we've drawn some lands. We need to draw some interaction here. But we're not out of it. That one's also not great. Let's see what happens on this turn. Take 7. What else do you have? Okay, okay. Now I can Tamio, tap down. That's awkward. I would like to tap down Thalia and Initiate, block the other Initiate, and let Tamio survive. But they're presumably going to exert regardless of what they do. And which means my block is a chump. But being at 8 life, I think that's our best bet, because if we just Oath the Thalia, we're just getting double exerted and have to chump. And that's our only other reasonable option, because the tracker enters tapped and doesn't do anything. So don't play the Aether Hub because it enters tapped. I guess I'll just play the mountain. Add white with this red mana. They probably don't even attack with Thraben Inspector then, but yeah, let's tap these 2 and pass the turn. Awkwardly, in order to have this tracker enter untapped, I'm going to have to play a land before it. I have to Oath Thalia, play land, play tracker, but that's what I have to do. We are not in great shape. Drawing the 1 Sweltering Suns would be nice. I would not say no to that one. Yeah, still 4 cards in hand for the opponent. This is not good. Yep. Just got our thing killed. Now they deal us 1, kill our Tamio, don't even have to exert. And yeah, another land means all we can do is Oath the Thalia and play our tracker to chump block. Maybe, I probably should have just cracked the clue this turn, digging for Sweltering Suns. This is, yeah, I think that would have been better. I mean, it's a 1-outer, but we're going to have to find it next turn anyway, and then we won't even have the tracker to clean up. This was a mistake. Hitting the Suns is definitely my only out. I could also just hit Magma Spray. Oh wow, they didn't exert. Well, I'll gladly trade. Very surprised at the lack of exert. Maybe they don't understand how exert and moto work, and they did attack all, but oh man, Virtuoso would have been nice. We make 3 more energy with these 2 cards, go to 7, go to 10. I've had 3 1/1s and a Virtuoso, but Thalia certainly blanks it. And so if we crack this clue, there's no 4-mana Planeswalker we can draw, so we might as well attune first. And I guess get the planes. I don't think any more Forest is doing anything. Okay, well, crack this clue. Sweltering Suns? We did it! I'm so good! Huzzah! Take that! I can't believe that happened. Wow. Okay then. Oh no, please don't let us die to Sunscorched Deserts. After ripping the one outer, it would be so disappointing. No, not another Thalia! Yes! We drew Harvest Lightning! Oh man. We just keep doing it. Use 2. That brings us to 7. Get this hub. Yes. Yes. We are stable. Opponent only has 1 card. We got a ton of good draws now. We're going to make 3 Thopters. That's fine. Is there? I don't think there's any point in making Thopters now in case there's a Deccan Stone. I don't think I'm attacking with any of them. Oh, well, now I would have wanted to attack with some, but that's fine. Let's Magma Spray that. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. Everything's okay. We're still great. No more Sunscorched Deserts, please. I don't want that sweat. Oh, man. I'm gonna want every single Thopter now to deal with Gustwalker, so. Woo! Woo! Gonna save this land for Tracker, but that was a good one. Very, very good. Getcha. Okay, now we are in full control, as they say. Nice one outer. Gotta play to your outs, kids. Sure, Gustwalker's fine. Not gonna do anything against the console flagship. Okay, they just conceded. I was gonna say it might be a weird dance to play around Stasis Snare there. Wouldn't have wanted to tap out all of my flying creatures, so. But easy dance to dance. Weird sentence, but that's what happens when you one out your opponents. You win the game. And yeah, Sweltering Suns is great against white aggro decks. I don't think anybody needed to hear that. I didn't cast a single Planeswalker in either of those games, which is kind of disappointing for our Planeswalker themed deck. But you know, when your opponent is a really fast aggro deck, Planeswalkers can be a bit of a liability. So we won with our other cards because the energy cards are great and Sweltering Suns is great. Hope you enjoyed that one, and you can come back and see me on Wednesday.